process of doing that, bro fired his laser eye, and they managed to reach the Jade Palace, where the Jade Emperor lives. Basically the big guy upstairs. And everybody was like, huh? What was that? They basically looked down and was like, oh, it's just a stone monkey. And he was like, oh, that's it? Everybody just go back to whatever you were doing. Because apparently a monkey born from a rock being able to shoot lasers is just normal to this guy. Now, the stone monkey, he didn't have a name yet, just lived on Flower Fruit Mountain with all the other monkeys. Until one of the monkeys had the genius idea to follow the river to its source. And all the other monkeys was like, what? That's a great idea. So they followed it, and of course it led to a waterfall. But now
I'll be finding hella good content. That's what I'll be talking about.
Now between all these other monkeys,
I'll check out your stream because I believe you was live today. Well, you finna go live. Either way, y'all know to go check out Heather J.
Prime real estate, of course. Bro found a completely furnished crib to live in. And all the other monkeys was like, bet that up. Yes, sir, we rich. And they all decided they just want to live there now. Now, since the stone monkey was the only one brave enough to jump through the waterfall and see what's behind it, they decided to make him king. And they all lived happily ever after in Water Curtain Cave. Until the stone monkey was sitting down one day and was like, hey, George, can I die? By the way, we're calling the monkey who came up with the idea to follow the river George. Because he's curious like that. And George was like, yeah, man, you just grow old and die. And the stone monkey's world just got turned upside down. What? Die? I was just enjoying being born. He decides he can't stand for this. So Brody goes on a pilgrimage. 9 years, 2 whole continents to find a way to extend his life until he ends up on the doorstep of the monk Sabaudi. And bro asked Wukong, like, what do you want me to teach you? And bro got straight to the point. He was like, I want to learn how to be immortal. Shut the fuck up, bro. We can't have everybody knowing I could teach you that. That lesson is reserved for my most dedicated students. And Wukong was like, what? I bet. Sabaudi decides to teach him how to be immortal. And Wukong, the most ADHD-ridden character in fiction, somehow studied for 7 years to become immortal. And Buddy was happy. He's like, oh man, I finally managed to increase my lifespan. The monk was like, great, but quick disclaimer, the court of heaven doesn't agree with this teaching, so they're gonna try to kill you once every 500 years. Wukong was like, you what? First of all, you're supposed to give the disclaimer before I even agreed to this. The monk was like, relax. I'm gonna teach you how to avoid it. In the first 500 years, they're gonna strike you with lightning. After that, they're gonna cook you, literally. And if those 2 methods don't work, they're just gonna disintegrate you. And Wukong's head was just spinning at this point. Oh, by the way, the monk Sabaudi was the one who gave Son Wukong his name, meaning monkey awakened to emptiness. Anywho, like I said, bro, Son Wukong's head was just spinning. He ain't know how to take this. But the monk was like, yo, relax. I can teach you how to avoid him. And so he teaches Wukong how to shapeshift into like 72 different things. And also taught him how to fly in the process. And because the monk didn't want to deal with Wukong's shenanigans and him potentially drawing attention to his teaching, bro told him to go to fuck home. And when he finally arrived back at Flower Fruit Mountain, he comes back to find all the other monkeys terrified. Now George is like, hey, yo, where you been? It's been like 16 years. My bad, gang. I had to take time to myself to level up real quick. Why is there less of you guys here? So yeah, about that. While you were gone, this big old demon was just coming around kidnapping monkeys for slaves. Wukong was flabbergasted. And then he got angry. So he goes to the dude's crib, and he's like, yo, word on the street is...
So that demon that kidnapping the monkeys for slaves was Frieza. See, shouts out to Journey into the West. They gave Akira Toriyama easy points to follow. Easy. You dig?
You've been kidnapping my monkeys to use as servants. Run me the fade. And of course, since Wukong just learned a whole bunch of new abilities, he beats the brakes off this dude and take all his monkeys back. And then he thinks for a second, he's like, yo, we cannot have this happening again, bro. Y'all need to learn to defend yourself. So he trains all of them and give them weapons. Great. But then he's like, damn, none of these weapons work for me, because he's too cool. But here comes George being helpful again. Yo, Wukong, I heard the Dragon King of the East, he has weapons. You might, hey, go check up with him. So Wukong goes to the Dragon King's palace to get a weapon. And he wasn't satisfied with anything until he saw this big-ass pillar. And he's like, damn, Loki, that would be great, but it's too big. But once he grabs it, it shrunk to the size he desired. And Brody was like, hey, yo, I'm about to go crazy with this right here. But the Dragon King of the East was just flabbergasted because, bruh, that pillar weighs like 17,000 pounds. Now, Wukong was absolutely happy, but then he was like, damn, bro, this is great, but the fit ain't fitting. I got this cool-ass staff, but some foo-boos on my feet. And this is where the crash-out begins. This bro was like, hey, yo, Dragon King, you got a fit for me that could go with this? With, like, some black forces or anything? And the Dragon King was like, before you answer that, I might just have to test the potency of this staff on your head. I'm gonna just convene